Hello and welcome to my ongoing thesis that tier lists are a game. And that makes this a totally valid use of my game pile series of articles. Hi, this is Talen Lee, he, him.
God damn it, I'm sorry. And this is Fox, she, her.
And we've been watching a lot of anime lately. So much so that I actually felt that it would be a bit overstuffed to just talk about anime all through Pride Month as I sought queer media that I was engaging with. 2022 was a bit of a year for anime. We got to see a lot of really cool stuff.
That was a lot of truly excellent stuff, and some really excellent stuff that wasn't from 2022, but that's when we happened to watch it.
Yeah. Well, we've been watching it in 2023. Still running 2022 in your checks, are you?
I mean, usually till about August.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, what's a check?
So normally, as we watch anime together, we talk about things, and occasionally things will come up, and at some point I offhandedly mentioned that anyone who was engaged in waifu wars, like, best girl kind of conversations, just scorched earth up and down 2022, because you think you've settled on the best girl of the season, and then another anime comes out, and it's got another amazing best girl in it. And some of the best girls are boys, even. And this conversation readily grew into a larger and larger meta conversation until at one point we just went, well, we should probably record this, just put this down somewhere.
And it's very good that this is what you're choosing to do for Queer Month, because most of this anime isn't especially queer. It's as queer as you make it.
We have picked different anime.
Hey, I didn't say all of it. Some of it's gay as fuck.
So,
the point is, it's as queer as you make it, and we can make it very queer indeed.
So I guess to show my queer card, which means I'm allowed to talk about this kind of stuff, I'm bi.
I'm glad, because I was gonna say, can we briefly talk about sexuality? Because I'm also bi, but perhaps more relevantly to ranking cartoon characters in terms of hotness, I'm also autocorosexual.
Do you want to explain to the class what that is, or do I have to do it?
I'd love to explain that one to the class. In short, it's not that sex doesn't make sense to me. It's that sex involving me doesn't work for me. So, really, when I'm looking at an anime waifu going, ooh, she's great, I'd fuck her, what I mean is, I would pair her with an appropriate life partner, have them do sweet romantic things, and then get real horny.
Yeah.
And none of it would have anything to do with where I'd like to put my dick.
Yeah. It's a category of sexuality that either you react to with, huh? What? Or, oh my god, there's a name for it. Can I go look that up?
It is also part of the overall asexual spectrum. If you're looking for the parent taxonomy, I guess you might say.
What's the cladistics of your sexuality? Where do we put you on the tree?
Look, it's useful to know.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you go to Ace Forums, that's a place where you're likely to find at least some people who identify this way as well.
Yep. With that in mind, I tried to collect a list of characters I thought were really hot and, would waifu in some vague nebulous way. I don't have a plan here. I don't have a story outline. I don't know what I mean by this beyond the general, yeah, that thing everyone knows we mean when we say this. Also, I use waifu gender interchangeably because husbando is a specific different thing. So, I think of all of these characters as being waifus to me, and I don't husbando anything. But I know there are some people for who husbandoing things is extremely important, and I don't want to say, no, you're using the wrong word, you should use the word I'm using.
Guess.
That's okay.
I'm broadly of the opinion that husbando is the word for cowards.
Yeah,
but I see what you're saying.
I know a couple of trans-masked dudes who are very much not wanting to assign femaleness to things, and I get that entirely. Especially, this is just a bit of playful, silly fun, after all. We also had to stake out... Go.
Nevertheless, if you're a straight girl and you're talking about waifus who happen to be dudes and you say husbando instead, you suck.
Oh, come on, be nice to the straight girls. Haven't they suffered enough? They have to put up with us. Anyway, so we also have a special stipulation at the start of this list, which is summertime rendering is a free square.
Hey! Shall we talk briefly about summertime rendering and why every character in summertime rendering is best girl and or boy?
Like, there are some characters in summertime rendering who I feel nothing in that way about, but mostly because they're children. But, like, all the adults are really good.
Yeah. I remain completely amazed that when Ushio finally showed up, she was not some kind of, like, manic pixie dream anime girl who I wouldn't be able to stand for a fucking second, but was in fact just made of awesome.
In some models and interpretations of this particular exercise of which characters I would waifu from which series, summertime rendering can have up to 7 characters, just because Shadow Ushio, Shadow Ushio, Ushio 1, Ushio 3.
They're not separate characters.
They're not really, especially not by the end, but the point is that, like, there are so many different ways to turn the lens of summertime rendering and go like, oh geez, there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. And by the way, if you think we're doing spoilers for summertime rendering, that's the first episode. It goes hard.
It's true. And, I don't also think it's much of a spoiler to say already Ushio and Shinpei are a perfect couple, making them ideal for my particular waifu dynamic.
It is shocking to find you go, wow, a het couple. I like that.
I know. Can't believe it.
Then, moving on from there, we have a quick brace of honourable mentions. Things that either didn't really count as 2022 anime for some nitpicky reason because we're nerds, or things that we don't want to say that much about.
Or just characters who didn't quite make the cut, because we did decide to limit ourselves to 10 each.
Yeah, which is hard.
It's trickier for some people than others.
Mm-hmm.
Should we take turns?
Sure. My first honourable mention is Rimuru Tempest from That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime.
He is a very cute femboy design.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He taps into a fantasy. Like, it doesn't hurt that when this anime dropped, I was the same age as the protagonist, where the gimmick is imagine on a way to your shittiest day of work. Instead, you got stabbed and woke up voiced by one of the hottest women's voices in anime. Like, he's
Ogata Megumi?
They're kind of retired now, aren't they? But the point is that, like, that they're not Romy Park, but the subsequent person taking up after Romy Park has reduced roles. But, like, he's a really attractive character who hits me in a very particular spot, but also it was just another season of That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, and it's gotten weird. I wouldn't highly recommend the series at this point.
It'd be fun to remove him from the, like, gratuitous wish fulfillment of the isekai story that, like, I mean, it's very much of that genre of just, this exists to glorify the main character at every possible turn.
Yeah, and it's a weaker story than it deserves to be. If it wasn't an isekai story, and it was just about a slime choosing to be a good person and a good leader, I would be down for that so hard.
Super cute.
But it does have to use the isekai thing, because, it started as an isekai light novel, and shrugs.
And how else are you going to talk about everything in your fantasy world as if it works on a very bad game system?
Yeah, and I mean, like...
Oh wait, no, they just do that in all the fantasy anime now, even if they're not isekai or games.
I will say that That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime does have one good joke that is required of it to be it needs to be an isekai for that joke, which is, when he dies, his dying words are to his friend, please wipe my hard drive. And the last shot of the first episode, after he's gone off and had adventures and dealt with a dragon and everything, is just a slow cut back to his office, back to his apartment where his best friend is grabbing his computer and drops it in the bath.
Oh, what a good friend.
Like, that's a good joke. And like, there is stuff it does with the concept of being an isekai. But the type of thing it is as a result of being an isekai is less interesting to me than it being just the kind of world-building structures of power and fantasy lore stuff that I would have preferred.
Well, where I was going with that was that it'd be fun to divorce him from that kind of story and just go, this is a perfectly valid thing as, like, a D&D character.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna steal.
Where the point is to just make as powerful a thing as you can, and have fun and have it be hot.
Yeah.
Because you can and you like that.
Absolutely.
My first honorable mention is apparently named Klein Clara. This is Eve's bar mum from Birdie Wing, Golf Girl Story.
Yeah, what a name, huh?
It is a name.
I felt like Birdie Wing is going to have a lot of your honorable mentions.
It's got one of my honorable mentions, and here she is. She's the main reason she's on honorable mentions is because she's just such a background character.
Yeah.
We don't really get to know her very well or anything, but her design is just absurdly hot, and she's an excellent person, and I kinda love that she does both high femme and, let's say, classy futch in the course of her bartending job.
Yeah.
And she looks fucking fantastic in both, and I love me a woman who can do both.
My next honorable mention is Shadiq Zanelli from Witch from Mercury.
He's not on my list because he's such a fucking ass.
Yeah.
But boy is he hot.
Boy hot.
Boy hot, yes.
I find boy hot and girl hot to be the weakest possible arguments, but I can't pretend I'm immune.
No, well, that's why they go in honorable mentions. They're
Boy
not
hot.
waifu material, but, you'd buy a pinup.
And he is responsible for one of my favorite, 3 favorite moments in that series. But that would be spoilery. Moving on.
Right. My second honorary mention is Butt-san. This is Tsubaki Byakudanji from My Master Has No Tail, who is another secondary character who we don't get to know too well. But the bits of him we do get to know are centered around his ass.
He's a shitty gambler with a lot of debt, so he keeps on showing up in places stripped naked and dumped in the snow.
He does. Well, not quite naked, because he's always wearing a fundoshi, which is on my tag list. What can I say? And he's a very, very pretty man.
Yeah. And honestly, we get to see a bit of his character in the way he views the world, and honestly, I think he's a pretty cool guy. He's not quite on my list. He's not on my list to give away, but I totally get it.
Technically on my list either.
And I understand in the manga he gets a bunch more as well.
I'd like to see more of him, and I'd especially like to know if the 4 characters associated with him are references to mythological creatures, as I kind of suspect, but they never get into that in the anime. Alright, we may never know. He's also only an honorable mention because they do illustrate his butt as funny man butt rather than sexy man butt.
Yeah.
And, if you don't know the difference between those two things, dear listener, there's not much I can do for you, but you know it when you see it, if you're into guys' butts.
Yeah. I guess that puts it on me again?
Yeah.
Alright,
if you've got another one.
I've got quite a few more. It's just I've hit an embarrassing one. Ruka Nadumi from Vajrock.
Now, you haven't seen Vajrock,
That's why he's an honorable mention.
So he's just on here for Boy Heart.
For anyone not aware, Vajrock is a it's in the idolish, you know, idol anime with all the cute little girls. Well, there used to be those before the little girls got involved, which were about teenage boys, and they were for people's mums. And in the case of this one, it's another case of a very tedious, boring anime about them doing meetings and occasionally singing a song. But it's like a gacha game, level of characters. We need 100 characters to pump out for all these different looks. So every CD has its own unique character image on it and stuff like that, and they all have different outfits. So it's exactly as tedious as you can imagine if I say it's boy band gacha. But in the case of Ruka, for a start, it's inexplicable, but I have a friend named Freya, whose primary aesthetic, let's say, is Neapolitan ice cream. And I was talking with her about this, and I said it's really weird that Ruka appears to be a character created to just land squarely in the overlap of our aesthetics. Because he is a pretty boy. He is a pretty boy, but also, if you found out he was always carrying a knife, you wouldn't actually be surprised. He's mischievous, and he's playful, and he spells his name with katakana, and not kanji or hiragana, because his parents didn't want to assign him a gender, or a pronoun growing up, and they used the katakana to say, well, whatever you pick, when you pick it, that's what you go for, okay?
That's kind of sick.
And when he reached his teen years and decided on things, he decided to keep it that way because he preferred people being uncertain. And I love an impious boy.
I do love that energy.
On the other hand, you couldn't pay me to watch this anime.
Fair. My next honorable mention is going to be contentious as fuck, because it's Kitagawa Marin.
Ooh. Yeah, I can see it.
Who is going to top many, if not all, the best girl lists of... I was going to say ordinary people. Other people.
She is top tier normcore anime boy material.
She's, and you know, I'm not really sure why she wound up here compared to everyone else.
Because she's normie hot.
Actually, no. I'll tell you why she wound up here in lieu of everyone else. Because her taste in girls kind of sucks. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm so disappointed in the girls she chooses to be.
Yeah. Marin Kitagawa is a cosplayer, and she mostly specializes in the kinds of characters Fox would definitely be downloading smut of, but never wanting to, as it were.
No, man,
Yeah.
I don't like maids, yuck.
Good point, they are very frilly and ornate. I was thinking of, like, the bikini-clad goblin.
Maids, magical girls, succubuses who wear clothing that looks kind of underaged-y.
Yeah, fair.
A girl who's permanently a prisoner. She has tremendous bottom vibes, and I'm not there for that.
Yeah, fair. But also, like, Marin is just such a nice, sweet person.
Yes!
Like, do such a good job with making this really...
I really enjoy the person she is when she's not cosplaying. She's lovely and nice, and I love the way she interacts with her own feelings, and how fucking cute it is. And I love that she likes meat wrapped in rice. Because that sounds delicious.
It's rice wrapped in meat.
It's rice wrapped in meat? Is it not also wrapped in rice?
I don't remember now.
Maybe there's multiple layers here. Anyway, the point is, I do really like her, but she has a critical flaw that means she's not going on my proper list.
Next honorable mention for me is Aya Usawa from The Guy She Was Interested In Wasn't a Guy at All, which isn't an anime from 2022. Which is why it's only in the honorable mentions category.
I see.
And, other reasons. But Aya, it's a Yuri series. It started out as a, basically, Twitter manga, and has been picked up and is actually going to get an anime adaptation, which is super cool. But the premise is right there in the name. A girl, in this case Aya, starts going to a music store and sees an attendant there who she thinks is a really hot alt scene boy. Turns out it's a girl, and it's her classmate. And the whole story is very sweet. It's framed around music, and it's unfortunately framed around music that they consider retro, which is to say, it's 90s rock.
That's brilliant! That's a great place to...
But that also means that the characters have that feeling of a millennial writing youths, which, but also, just the aesthetic of this, the vibes are incalculable. It's a great series. It's available for free.
Kind of want to check this out. It sounds like the Not a Girl would be on my list.
And Aya is your very classically hot Gyaru style girl.
Ah, yeah.
And, I think that she is really sweet and charming and also very normie attractive.
You do like a girl who is sexy on purpose.
I do like normie attractive.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Tag.
I'm going to be controversial again, though.
Yeah?
Shikimori.
Okay. I'm shocked she shows up.
Well, once again, she's showing up here because she's not making it onto my real list because half of her is very boring.
And this is from Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie.
Yes. I wish Shikimori was just not a cutie. Cause every time she's dude moding, she is wicked, crazy, awesome, hot, and I love everything about her, but the crux of the story is her boldly choosing to be conventionally femme, despite being all that.
So 2 points here. 1, you haven't watched this, but you've put up with me talking about it. And 2, she's not on my list either.
Holy shit! That I am surprised at.
Huh, interesting.
Well, yes. She's here on my honorable mentions because I dig very much the vibe that isn't just cute, but the cute, very, very average.
Mine?
Yep.
Kabataijin from Ya Boy Kong Ming.
Oh snap, guess who's next on my list?
Both honorable mentions?
Both honorable mentions.
Yeah, no, he's really cute. He's like if Hanataro from Bleach had
it's kind of like if Hanataro could rap.
Yeah, had a part-time job at a laundry. Like, I like him a lot. He's a really endearing character. I want to give him a hug. But also the rap persona he has is the kind of person I want to kick downstairs.
Yeah, I enjoy rap and hip-hop, but I don't enjoy, like, combat rap and hip-hop. Like, that's not the fun side of it for me.
Yeah.
Design really cute. I love that I love the duality of him being tough guy and also just, like, incredibly anxiety-based.
What if I die from tummy too hurty too much?
He almost did die from tummy hurty too much. Like, I want to see more of Kabe Taijin. I hope there's another season of Your Boy Kongming.
Even if there isn't, there is a manga. Remember that, everyone.
It's true, yeah.
There's always more manga. There's always more Yuri in the manga stand.
This is true. Yeah, so I want to see more of him. I want to get to know him better and see when he's being not just a nervous wreck or an angry boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's back to you. I technically did one as well.
Okay.
And you've got more than me, I'm pretty sure.
Holding my breath on this one, but...
You're waiting for me to finish drinking, so I can't do a spit take.
Chwatri Choo Choo Pan Lunch from Gundam Witch from Mercury.
Oh my god, that is her name, isn't it?
She is a queen?
Christ.
I cannot stand her hair. She is so cool and so good. Instant classic anime based just on her.
You are correct in every way.
But she doesn't have the... Like, I don't care about her romantic narrative. I do not care if she winds up with a nice girlfriend or boyfriend. I want to see her roll more rich people.
Yeah, I know. Romantic narrative? What? Who cares? Choo Choo is here to wreck mean rich girls.
It's so good. So good. Tag.
Alright, my final honorable mention.
Okay.
So do you want to get yours in first?
Just one real quick one. Eve from Birdie Wing. She's really quite attractive. Birdie Wing isn't over yet, so I don't have the same attachment to it, which is weird because I did also cite some.
Yeah,
Gundam
you picked a lot of things that aren't finished yet.
But that's why they're honorable mentions. I'm up and down on those ones. Also Desmi Megahara from Love After World Domination, who that character is beautifully done and beautifully realized. I think that whoever made that series really cared about doing a lot of cool things with her, giving her lots of good moments, giving her lots of different ways to express herself and her identity. Really appreciate that. I think that the rest of the series lets her down, and a big part of that is her interest in Fudo, her partner, who kind of sucks in a way that looks like he's great.
It's like punk wallpaper.
Yeah, and also he just says the exact right thing. And when you have a partner who will just say the exact right thing to you, but also not say stand up to his shitty friend, then it kind of asks, what about him informs that willingness to tell you the exact right thing?
Yeah, it's kind of red flaggy, to be honest.
And I think it's just a matter of, like, they don't think that the friend is that bad.
Yeah.
Which is also a problem for me. I wrote a whole article about this, and I compared him unfavorably to Gideon Nav from Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. So, like, I went places with this one. But basically, Desmi, really, really beautifully realized character. Really endearing, very sweet. Use reaction just for her all you want. She is fantastic. But I couldn't really rate this properly because I don't like the show that much.
Plus, really great to see a mature romance anime about adult characters.
They're both 17.
The fuck you say?
What's your last honorable mention, Fox?
My last honorable mention is Natsume from Decadence.
Ooh, yeah.
She's here because it's not a 2022 anime.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it until recently, and she's the fucking best.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here. Part of it is just that she generally has best girl personality to begin with. Another part of it is that I like robot arms, and I like baggy khaki pants, and I like big strappy oversized belts around waists, and I like scrappy tank tops, and I like everything about her visual design. She's just great, and it's she's the kind of character who can sell you on the idea that another character will go, if the world makes her unhappy, I will burn it down.
Yeah. It's really interesting that Decadence has kind of functionally only 3 women and they're all best girl.
That's pretty fair, actually.
And one of them is just an orb.
And we really can't say anything more about that without spoiling everything.
Yeah.
Since that anime is made of spoilers from about halfway through the first episode.
Yeah, Decadence goes hard. Real
That's
good
anime.
Rules! My last honorable mention, because she's not really from an anime. Bridget, Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh! I thought you were going to put Gideon on this list for a second. I'm like, Talent, you're going a long way afield there.
That book's like from 2019.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
There's 3 books in that series, and I'm on the 3rd one. Anyway, Bridget from Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you were in the particular space of where watching people generate fan art of cute girls, there were definitely seams all across 2022 of big, expansive, lots of people are drawing this character right now, and it was almost like, your Forger, Marin Kitagawa, your Forger again, and then Bridget.
Yeah. Like, me being who I am, I miss fanboy Bridget.
Yeah.
But I love girl Bridget.
Yeah.
She deserves everything.
Yeah. She and her song's a banger, her moves are so good. Everything about her I find endearing, and her story basically has a character turn to the camera and go, I am trans. And then you get to watch idiots just mentally gymnasticking around, well, what does she mean by this?
We may never know. Let me write an essay deciphering the words, I am trans.
People invented executives at the company and generated fake letters saying, look, people have, clearly misunderstand. The English people are all confused by what we've done here. Like,
yeah, it's time to stop, guys.
Die mad about it.
And it's guys.
It's guys. I'm very sorry about your femboy rep, but let it go. All right. And in to the top 10.
Time for the real lists.
Uh-huh.
All right. You going to go first again?
Yeah, my list is also randomized. So, from Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, Fuji Shikimori.
I thought you said she wasn't on your list.
That's not the girl, Shikimori. That's her older brother.
Oh! I've seen this character.
Fuji is so hot.
It's a very you kind of dude.
Fuji is like if someone reconstructed Denji Chainsaw Man from shoujo manga parts.
Denji Chainsaw Man.
He's so good looking. He's such a good brother. He takes care of his little sister. They lightheartedly bully each other back and forth. It's very funny. It's very endearing. I like him a lot. And he's a fucking adult and he's attractive as hell.
Sick. No.
Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. In the same nebulous anime way of like, yes, she is also hot. Yeah, of course she's hot. That's what the whole fucking series is about.
I mean, they're anime characters.
Yeah.
Of course, they're hot. Everyone's hot. That's how anime works. If you're not a child, you're hot.
And in the case of Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, they actually made of a cast of 3 boys, 2 of them quite hot, and like 6 girls, of which 5 are quite hot. And then they have the designated unfit friend.
Boo. Well, I'm not going to ask you to go into detail.
No. But yeah, Fuji Shikimori, he's cute.
Right. I put a number 1 next to Yasaku Rei from Do It Yourself.
Whoo!
She's the club senpai.
She sure is. She is the Dai Senpai of the opening title.
She has cute red bobbed hair and boyish fashion sense and her parents own Bunnings, and I am so into this. She's perfect. She knows how to use power tools.
She's made out of teenage lesbian crush, right?
She is.
Like, if this anime had aired when we were teenagers, it would just be like, well, everyone has a crush on her, right? It's very normal for girls to have a crush on her, right?
She definitely is that archetype of the girl senpai that you have a crush on, and it totally doesn't make you gay. No, every girl has a phase.
Yeah.
So she's definitely like, my particular sexuality brings a new level to Life or Wife, but she's definitely rocking the life side of things.
Oh god, she's so cool. Tag?
Tag.
Alright, well, in the interest of getting my normcore bona fides out of the way, Marin Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling.
Hey! I was pretty confident she was going to be on your list.
She fucked up my entire list because I completely forgot that My Dress Up Darling was a 2022 thing. So I was like, I've got it done. I'm fine. This is good. We're done. Oh, God. And I ran to the spreadsheet to try and find a place to fit her. Side note, she bumped Kabataijin.
Ooh, he almost made it.
He
should have worn nail polish. Better luck next time, buddy.
I am worried that a lot of my honorable mentions were dudes and a lot of my top 10 are girls.
Look, it's fine. Anime is always trying harder on girls than dudes. Unless
really
it's,
true.
Well, unless it's something like Vajrock. And...
That's called Vajrock, so...
Have you seen it's been localized as V-A-Z-Z?
And I'm not pronouncing it that way, because that's not how it's pronounced.
That's not how it's pronounced.
It's pronounced Vajrock.
Don't see why you would.
Okay, yours.
Back to me, I put a number 2 next to Shima Rin from Eurocamp.
Ah.
I didn't watch Eurocamp until the end of last year, and I love it. It's so pretty, and everyone's nice. And we go to such nice places, and it's all set in winter, so everyone's wearing big coats and boots and scarves. And...
Is this the pink-haired femme himbo, or is this the blue-haired competent one?
This is the blue-haired, hyper-competent introvert.
Yep.
Who just, like, to be 17 and, getting on a scooter and driving off at 3 a.m. to go winter camping at the edge of a lake with... No one, because you can just do it yourself.
Oh, that's amazing.
There is a sense of freedom in that show that makes me deeply nostalgic for something that never happened.
Yeah.
And Rin is definitely my, top waifu from that series. She's just got the vibe. Tag back to you. Oh, right, Eurocamp is not a 2022 anime, but they released a movie this year.
Hey, got there.
In on a technicality.
With the same technicality I bumped Rimuru Tempest on. So, remember how I mentioned that the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all? Doesn't really count because it's a manga, not an anime?
Uh-huh.
Fuck it. Anyway. So, Mitsuka Koga, the other girl from the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. She is...
Hey!
Gender is a spectrum. Gender is a performance. There is no particular aesthetic that is, in a particular way, required to belong to a gender. When she is boy moding, she is so hot. It's this Seattle grunge aesthetic coupled with if I say black mask, the specific like if you might see someone in fashion wearing a black P90 mask. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, in which case, I will just do the thing I prepared to do earlier, and show you a picture.
Damn.
She is so good looking.
Love a girl who wears a hoodie.
Yeah.
This is gonna come up again.
She has a flat fringe, and she has big round glasses, and she looks like the class, generic nerd 3 girl. And her at-home hang-around clothes look so good. Anyway.
Speaking of girls in hoodies, I put a 4 next to Aiko from your boy Kong Ming.
Hey!
I can't believe how good this character is.
I am shocked.
She should be in a position to just annoy the hell out of me, but much like Ushio, she is in fact excellent, and I love everything about her, and I want her to succeed, and definitely become closer with her music senpai who she saved from horrible girl band exploitation.
Yeah.
And love and happiness to all of them. Man! Girls in hoodies. More girls in hoodies!
Big hoodies, shorts.
Yes.
Also, braids and cap. I can't believe how good that works here. Also, I don't know if anyone else notices this when they watch this show. All her shirts change. Different days she's wearing different shirts, and they're all super simple and super cute.
Here's the real thing about Eiko. It just makes me so happy that everything she shows up in looks comfy.
Mm-hmm.
She just looks like she's happy and comfy all the time, and that makes me so fucking happy. Because I went into this thinking it might be kind of like an idol anime.
Yeah.
And the costumes in idol animes make me want to eat my own eyeballs. I do not enjoy Japanese stage fashion, let's say.
So, there's a whole argument here about, well, actually, idol anime can include non-ugly idol anime, but, like, that's not what people...
They should do it sometime.
Yeah, that's not what people mean. Is Kageki Shoujo a idol anime greatest thread in the history of anime forums, locked after 16,000 messages? Anyway, Power from Chainsaw Man.
Hey, I'm super glad she's on your list, because I didn't watch Chainsaw Man. I know it's not going to be my cut.
I haven't watched Chainsaw Man.
It got spoiled for me. I know it's not a story I want to experience, but everything about Power seems awesome. It's
a grim action horror anime that uses comedy as a blunting mechanism, but that's the point. And it also uses a lot of deliberately horny, cheesy fan service stuff to kind of effectively get your guard down. One of the side effects of that is it is full of really hot women and some super interesting, cool horror monster kind of stuff. And by the end of the series, a lot of bad stuff has happened to characters whom you would rather not have bad stuff happen to. But, in all that, Power is just great. Power is an obnoxious, leery, loud-mouthed, absolutely overconfident idiot of a character. She was made to be a hybrid of Eric Cartman and Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski.
Jesus Christ.
She was made to be the most obnoxious character possible, and also a hot girl. And, like, we know for a fact, for example, that she doesn't flush the toilet. Like, she is that level of absolutely awful.
Oh, that's pretty awful.
Yeah, but she's also great. My defining favourite moment, and I don't think the anime's gotten to it yet, so woo, spoilers for next season's animes! There's a point where they open an elevator and there's a wall of zombies that haven't noticed them, and Denji's like, we can sneak past them if we don't make any noise. And she immediately pulls out a hammer and shouts, "My name is Power and I'm the best!" And she starts fighting her way through them.
I love a girl himbo.
She's absolutely amazing.
That's gonna come up again. Which means I'm up to number 5. Oh, it's Mamada!
Ha Ooh, so good, yes!
She's not here because she's hot. She's not here because she's sexy. She's here because I love a Tanuki. And that's all there is to it. She's from My Master Has No Tail. She's our main character. She is a very good bean, who is impossible to dislike. Yes, here she is. Love her.
She's so good.
Tanuki have... if you're familiar with me, you may know that I am a very much a goblin and appreciator of goblin energy. And Tanuki are essentially the goblin of Japanese animal folklore, right? I don't feel like that's a very controversial statement.
Yeah, if they're wet, they're Kappa. If they're dry, they're Tanuki.
How does that relate to goblins?
Well, like, you know, as far as the stuff you expect... As far as the stuff you expect a goblin to do, like playful, mischievous, will mess with you for no good reason, will occasionally throw things in your face.
Yes. But it's all sort of in good humour.
Yeah, if they're wet, that's a kappa. If it's dry...
Oh, a kappa. I thought you said a carpet.
Oh.
Like, you know, if a Tanuki was wet, it'd be... Because, yeah.
She can be a carpet if she wants to. She can shapeshift.
Well, carpet is relevant to her, I'm gonna say. Mamada's wicked gay.
I don't know if she's gay, but she's
she's wicked into bunko.
Yeah, into bunko, yeah.
She's definitely has a gay romance.
If you like aloof, short-haired, older women and the ambitious idiot girls who love them, check out My Master Has No Tail, because holy criminy.
Yes, and to be honest, she de-goblinifies pretty quickly. Because it just turns out that she's just nice. She's just nice and wants everyone to be happy.
It's also, we know Mamada says ACAB.
That whole show says ACAB. It's fucking great. Check it out. Back to you, Talen.
Alright, so here we go. Here is one that's going to be a bit of a lift for Fox to put up with. From The Executioner and Her Way of Life, Akari Tokoto.
Seriously?
Yeah, this is not... I'm not proud of this. But...
And why is it here?
Because she's also great.
I'm sorry. I know. I said make your own list. It's not my list.
And I would like to also say that if I could take The Execution Her Way of Life and have a good clothing designer just redo everyone. the series improves. There is no one in this series who can't be made better by fixing their outfit. That said, as a character, and I'm so glad I put that big spoiler warning up at the start of this video, because fuck everyone who got this far and is thinking they're getting away with it.
There was a spoiler warning?
Yeah, it's in the video cards. Don't worry. Magic of editing. The point is that Akari is, at first, she comes across as a completely vapid disaster lesbian who has fallen for the girl who stabbed her in the head. And, well, her magic means she can't die. Here's our puzzle. We're going to have to solve this while trying not to fall in love with this girl who is extremely into me. And then, over time, it reveals that no, Akari is here on her 100th loop through time. It's a time loop anime, and she's a protagonist from a time loop isekai kind of thing. And she is just replaying it over and over again until she can get to a version of the story where she winds up with the assassin who she's fallen in love with over so many of these iterations. And also, because of this, she is lethal and cutthroat and she knows everything that's going on around her in the setting, and she will fuck people up.
I'm so mad.
So you have disaster lesbian turned chess master turned death bimbo, and then all of that winds up weaving into the greater cosmological nature of the story, and it's just a really cool idea. And the character they choose to express it with, it swings wildly from, whoops, where did this knife in the back of my head come from, to, I will make sure no one ever knows what happened to you in any history. And it's just, I love that kind of lethality constrained with that kind of softness. I think that's cool.
There's something very cool about I love this person so much that I will, die and redo this a million times until they fucking get it.
And I will save all their friends, because if I don't, it will hurt them.
But I would be mad if I'd fallen for the apparent version of the character, and then it turns out she's like this. I'd be so cross.
Yeah. And it is also a little more complicated than that, and, none of this is enough reason to watch the execution of her way of life. If you watched the first episode of that series and didn't go, I want to watch these two grow together and I like this series, nothing after that point is going to make you like it more. But that revelation for me was just that's cool. Tag?
It's Choo-Choo.
Choo-Choo?
It's Choo-Choo.
It's Choo-Choo.
I'm glad you said her full name earlier, because that means I don't have to, and I can pretend that that's not her name.
Yeah.
Good God. Gundam names, man.
Gundam names.
Who Gundam names? Whatever. Even Choo-Choo's hair and her terrible stupid name are not enough to keep her off my list. She's incredible. She's absolutely best girl from that show. I was like, I find the main dynamic between our two characters very hard to stomach.
Yeah. Soletta?
Thank you. Soletta is just too awkward.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a failing of her, it just makes her very difficult to enjoy.
Yeah.
For me. And Mirini is just kind of a mean bitch for the first season. Which is, interesting, but not, once again, not enjoyable. And, I was waiting for something from this show to twist in a way that grabbed me. And then Choo-Choo just marched up to a mean girl and punched her in the fucking face. And then she went for the next girl, because she is the best character.
Just folded.
She's so good. A hero has emerged. Back to you.
We have a double up.
Hey.
Eiko Tsukimi from your boy Kung Ming.
She does have a surname, thank you.
Yeah, I went looking for surnames for a lot of these characters and was surprised that some just don't have any, like Kabataijin and Eve don't.
Yeah. And Eiko, she was listed just as Eiko in a lot of places because the stage name is just Eiko.
Yeah.
But I assume that's also her real name and she has a surname somewhere, I just can't fucking find it.
And yeah, she's amazing. No notes. Fox got it all right.
Oh, hey! It's a boy! It's Lloyd Forger from Spy X Family.
Uh-huh.
I...
Hastily crossing off something on the list.
I did not think I would enjoy Spy Family, because when I heard the pitch, I thought, that sounds like some edgelord bullshit, I can probably give that a miss. I didn't know it was a comedy, and I want to revise my previous opinion to be, I would die for these two gorgeous idiots and their perfect goblin child.
And dog.
And dog! Yeah, these two are just gorgeous, sexy, lovely spy people. I love them together. I love Lloyd. He's such a handsome dad guy. I love his sweater.
Lloyd is an example of how a design doesn't need to do anything exotic if it just does what it does well.
Just do it all right.
He is shockingly hot for a design that could be described in entirely generic pieces.
And indeed, he is supposed to be fairly generic. He's supposed to be a guy who can become someone else at a moment's notice, for which being astonishingly hot would be a liability. Though he does have, like, magical perfect disguises, so... yeah, whatever. Anyway, I also love how he is extremely neuroatypical.
Oh yeah, that boy has not a single neurotypical thought.
Just a joy to watch him try and relate to normal people stuff.
I'm going to say something here, and I want everyone to know this is a value-neutral comment. But as spies go, he's a bit less James Bond and a bit more autism powers.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
Yes, back to you.
Alright, continuing the trend of stuff Fox hasn't seen and doesn't know anything about. Seri Kikyo from Call of the Night, which is...
now look, I have seen most of the character designs from this show.
She is the Gyaru in the big sloppy sweater.
Ah, so not our pink-haired,
no.
Sort of sex goblin.
Yeah, not Chizuru. No, not Chizuru. Damn it. Sorry. There's a couple of characters who have very similar names that have just got different Z's in them, and I've blanked on hers. But no, Seri is one of the vampires, and in universe, vampires deliberately project a mystique of, we're strange people of the night, and we will kill people who know about us within a certain amount of time. Like, vampires need to keep themselves a secret. There is a masquerade to maintain but also, because they don't actually have access to infrastructural power the way that vampires are supposed to, because, like, there's no landed nobility, there's no Transylvania in Japan. So instead, they're just
they're like superpowered vagrants.
Yeah, they're a bunch of people who have got all the free time in the world to do things that they like to fuck around with, which is why one of them is just plays video games all the time. Another one is just like a huge fashion dork, and he almost got an honorable mention because he has a really interesting revelation about demisexuality in that story. And anyway, the point is, Seri, to feed, tries to find the shittiest dudes she can. Like, she doesn't work very hard at it. Like, when a juice box walks up to you and puts its hand on your thigh, you don't go, but are there other worse juice boxes around?
It's almost like you don't have to work too hard to find shitty guys.
It's true.
Especially if you happen to be a hot girl.
Yeah, and in the context of Call of the Night, these characters spend their time reframing just relationship conversations as like battle manga style stuff of like, she's pulling out that move. But what about this move? That's where you're wrong, Kaiba. And it's very fun, but also her as a character, I really like her because in part, she's just trying to vibe. Like, everyone else is these very high-strung kind of attitude. She's like, look, I would like some food. I would like to get laid occasionally with someone who's not trash. And broadly speaking, I just want to be left alone. But if I have to kill someone, I absolutely fucking will. Which I think continues my preference for the death bimbo archetype.
Look, it's been a big thing since at least Bleach.
Yeah, it's true.
Alright, in that case we're up to entry number 8 on my list, which is Yamada Ryo from Bocchi the Rock.
Ooh.
This is the bassist of Kasuku Band.
Yeah.
Who is just classy and neat and introverted, but not in a garbage fire way. Like, the point of her is that she doesn't care to be around people, and she's fine with that. She's
not lonely when she's alone.
90s girl songwriter, did you get that one from?
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, I gotta move right along. How dare you besmirch my butchy rockers with Kelly fucking Clarkson.
So, yeah.
And particularly, she's on here because her fashion sense is fucking impeccable.
Yep.
She is a hell of a snappy dresser. She, like, light boy modes. She's pretty much Futch.
Yeah.
But it just in, like, an effortlessly cool rock star kind of way. Like, to the point where one of the other girls in the band is only there because they're like, God damn, she's hot and kind of boy mody. And that makes her my pick of the band as well.
Gotta say, I was also expecting either the older sister or the drunk to show up.
No, not quite. Older sister, almost, but I mean, she's not much of a presence. So
Yeah, and you
she
don't.
didn't quite get the honorable mentions.
You don't tend to want a waifu you can pour out of a bucket.
No, I mean, really, being a lush is kind of fun in anime, but like a huge turn off for me overall. Because if you're a non-drinker, interacting with drunk people is hideously
not
uncomfortable.
fun.
Somebody very recently in something I was watching described an experience as like when you're drinking with someone who started like 3 drinks ahead of you, and just that awkwardness all night, and like, yeah, that, except any instance of another person drinking is that for me, and it's just, I want to go home.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, none of them, but Ryo's definitely here. She also has a, unisex name, which is sick. We always like those. Yes, your turn.
I hate that it came out in this order. Your Forger from Spy Family.
Hey!
Everything Fox said about Lloyd, pretty much same thing. She is a preposterously hot lady with an incredibly compelling character, excellently drawn face and expressions, and at least once almost completely obliterates a man with a melon. Like, she's great.
Recognizes the importance of giving her 6-year-old lessons in self-defense.
Yeah.
I want to list her achievements because she's so fantastic.
I think we'll probably get a chance to. Anyway.
Exactly like Lloyd. Looks spectacular in formal wear, but a little bit better in casual wear.
I'm not going to say better.
The
Differently
fucking
awesome.
dress! The dress, oh my god.
Yeah. Tag.
Well, it feels like I should bump your into this
Yeah.
song just for the sake of, like, obviously she's on my list as well.
Yeah.
Much like Ushio and Shinpei from Summertime Rendering, these two are individually perfect and perfecter together.
It's shocking. I'm not used to anime pairing 10s with 10s.
They are glorious. You're also, by the way, extremely rocking the not at all neurotypical
Oh, yeah, no.
vibe. Like, these are two very, like, broken people who just happen to be lovely and great together as well. And is so delightful.
It still has a certain element of, I will get a good grade at being normal.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so much fun. We've all been there.
Yep. So does that put it back to me?
Yep.
We have another double up.
Is it Lloyd?
It's Rei Yasuku from Do It Yourself.
Hey! You picked Senpai as well.
Dai Senpai.
I thought you would probably go for, Kokoro.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. You might have picked up a theme that I do like the ditzy, dangerous ones, but that's not actually all I got going on, and it's just that, like, again, if Rei had been, like, an anime character when I was a teenager, I would have gotten into power tools. That would have been the excuse my brain needed of, like, well, if I want to see a girl like that, I've got to get into power tools.
That's what, like, every club anime is about.
Yeah, exactly! It's cute girls doing cute things, except in this case, the cute thing happens to be industrial arts.
Love it. There you go. Sometimes we do have the same vibe. Oh, Ushio was the one who was in front of Yor anyway, so she was technically the next person on my list. Alright! Then this is our last entry, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's Eve from Birdie Wing.
Yep.
She wasn't gonna
She had to show
on
up.
my list. She's fucking gorgeous. I love her fashion sense. I love her cut-off shorts. I love her fucking idiot golf thug person. Like, she's such a stupid character.
I don't play golf. I hit balls with sticks to survive.
Sticks to survive. Oh my god. She's amazing.
Sorry, be right there. I'm gonna beat this golf vampire. In a match for the golf mafia. They found me golf hustling.
And I love the whole, like, Lady in the Tramp vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Of, like, you know, and here's the good girl who does everything correctly and is perfect and well-mannered. And, you know, and now I'm carrying a massive torch for her. Not that I'm gonna, you know, throw my life away and leave the fucking country to be closer to her or anything. That seems extreme. You have to be really gay to do that, right?
In Birdie Wing's case, I love that Birdie Wing neatly latches into a part of your brain, in that you've got the Lady in the Tramp paradigm where you love a lithe hero, you love a roguish hero, you love a guile hero, but also, on the other side of that relationship, you like someone who does things correctly and puts their code in the proper number of indents.
I love a dumb hunk who has to suck up to a rule follower.
Yeah. Again, extremely neurotypical rule follower too. Just saying.
I also love that that this is another you know, mature romance story between women who are clearly adults.
The anime says they're not adults. The anime says they're like 15.
The anime, according to the anime, they are the youngest people on this list.
Go fuck
and
yourself.
That's bullshit.
This is one of those things that when it comes to especially people who grow up with anime, I'm like, anime age and sexuality is just nonsense. If these characters were 30, they would look no different whatsoever, and no one would think that was weird. So it's like, yes, these people with full-time careers in a professional sport are also teenagers. Fuck off. It's like Lycoris Recoil was the one that I was thinking about on that front, where, yes, they're full-time assassins with a massive amount of training and expertise in firearm handling and close-quarter combat and everything, and also full-time school students, and also they run a cafeteria. Like, no, they're not. They're not teenagers.
Secretly, they're all vampires. That's how they have the time for this nonsense.
When you've got your second job, you aren't a school kid.
Like, I'm so used to seeing anime where it's like, yeah, you know, look at this, you know, hot, sexy teacher who I have a crush on. She's like 30, yeah, well, no, this is anime. She's like 23.
Yeah.
And like, she's illustrated looking at least as young as everyone in the high school class.
Slightly taller.
Younger. Well, she's wearing high heels.
Yeah.
That's how you know she's an older woman.
All the glasses in the bun.
And to then stumble into Birdie Wing, where everyone looks like a grown-ass adult, and then they go, and now they're competing in the under-15s tournament. You're like, huh? The fuck? Huh? Huh?
Is that hexadecimal?
You mean in dog years? Because I think she ate someone.
I do have one last entry.
Yes, please.
It's Lloyd Forger.
Hey, my boy!
Yeah, it's... I thought Lloyd was a great character when I was reading the manga. I liked it quite a bit. I only read a couple of preview chapters of the manga because that's all I could legally obtain, officer. But the opening episode where basically a sad, emotionally spent, slightly stressed out Lloyd sleeps on the couch, and Anya like takes care of him.
Yeah!
Like, he looks so good there though as well. Like, they actually went, all right, well, here is a man constructed entirely out of generic anime parts, and what lightings and angles can we make him look soft, vulnerable, and well, weak? In what ways can we, without compromising what is obviously true about this character's body, can we still give you the impression that this is someone who really needs a hug? And they knocked it out of the park, and like, oh no, it's not just that this series is great, he's also hot. Like, I'm not used to anime pairing 10s with 10s.
Yeah, I can't believe we had not just one of that on this list, but two of that. And depending on how you feel about Birdie Wing, 3 of that.
Yeah. Marin Kitagawa, love her dearly. I love the way that the manga over time makes Gojo seem more attractive. Great work. Really top-notch stuff there. He's not in her league.
No, he's like a 4.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of that is that she's into him regardless, and that's, like, cute and nice and whatnot. And it's cool that, like, there's a delay on her realizing that she's into him. That's Kagami Hana Nadeshiko from Yuru Camp. It's Rin's girlfriend. How could she not be here? This is the pink-haired himbo you were asking about before.
This is the real pain of your particular perspective on these things, because when there's a couple, it's like, you've got to have them both.
You do! I felt bad leaving one of them off.
Yeah. Oh, that's super sweet, though.
Anyway, I mean, she's lovely for most of the same reasons that everyone in the show is lovely, but her particular combo of, like, she's like the athletic one, because she did many a sport and just accidentally became, like, an Iron Woman by teenage girl standards.
I like the way that she ported across to an anime and got a band. She looks like a younger Bocce.
Oh! Oh, no, you should look at their faces up close sometime.
Fair.
Also, she's very outgoing, friendly, and everybody instantly loves her because it's impossible to dislike her because she's such a charming himbo. She's also a super great cook because she loves eating.
Nice.
And I like it when those things go together. And also, I like how all the other girls sit around talking about how they want to marry her because she'd be the best cook.
I like her flying tent.
Her flying tent?
It's one episode. It's a dream sequence. It's one I watched.
Oh, yeah. No, that's from the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's definitely the sort of Cloud Cuckoo Lander one of that set, too. Like, she's the one who comes up with the spacey ideas. Also, her cooking is particularly interesting because that follows through to it, and it's refreshing to see a great cook in... Okay, normally, when an anime girl is experimental with cooking, that's code for this is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Her experiments are going to be stupid nonsense that no one would ever think would work. But Nadeshiko is just creative, and it works because she knows how to cook things and how to adapt her existing knowledge of what works to, well, this would probably serve the same function, or we could probably do it this way, or... It's just really nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in Yuru Camp which is just really nice, and you didn't expect it, but it is. Anyway, yes, there we go. I did want to end on Eve, but I can't leave Nadeshiko out just because I forgot her.
Yeah. You did the right thing.
I sure did. Never break up the girlfriends.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's at least 4 double-ups there. And I went pretty far afield on some weird ones.
When you're right, you're right.
Also... the giant asterisk that is all of Summertime Rendering. Me leaving out everything from Lycoris Recoil.
Well, I mean, you could have gamed it by putting Lycoris Recoil characters on your list because you knew they wouldn't be on mine.
Yeah. I thought about it.
Cheating.
I thought about strategic behavior like that because I was pretty sure I'd get Aiko and Kabataijin as freebies. But now, gotta play true to my heart, gotta be honest about it.
I mean, I was pretty fucking confident we were both putting Lloyd and Yor on there.
Yeah. There's not a lot of good reasons to not. Like, if you're into what they offer, they're both exceptionally good examples of it.
Be a substantial oversight not to.
Yeah.
But there were definitely some surprises there.
Yeah. I knew I was going to pull out characters you had never heard of.
And I was not expecting Ray to appear on both of our lists. That was sick.
Really? Wow, that's cool.
Look, there's a lot of characters to like in that show. Like, that's another show where everyone is pretty great, actually.
Yeah.
But I really did think that Koki would win out.
I think a big part of it is that show is a really good way of putting me in the mind of being that age. And at that point,
It's super wholesome like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and at that point, just thinking, like, what was I like when I was that age, aside from a complete mess? Like, technically still kind of a cultist, but at that point in my life, just the idea of someone like Ray, we're like, hi, I'm 2 years older than you, and I will hang out with you, and I have the coolest toys, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm willing to teach you things, and I'm willing to be patient with you while you screw up. Like, holy crap!
Also, my parents own a hardware store with an offcuts bin.
That's extremely your shit, isn't it?
I also almost put Seraphiel on here.
Yeah, she's real sweet.
because, once again, I fucking love her neurotypical vibes.
Yeah.
She is on a different planet to most of the other characters most of the time, and she is a very, very good person.
I can't remember her name, but the lady from Decadence with the goggles, and also Jen, the spoilery character from Decadence, she's also really great.
Only the main character already got in on the other technicality.
Yeah. No, 2022, man. There was something in the water.
This was a great year for anime. If you haven't already checked out a lot of these shows,
how did you get this far? There was a spoiler warning.
That's true. I mean, I definitely recommend everything on my list, because no one is on here just for hotness.
I don't think any of the things I recommended or watched or engaged with were bad. The closest I'll get is that I don't think that Love After World Domination is very good, but it's perfectly serviceable, fun popcorn anime, and it introduces her the lesbian.
Sure, but are you going to recommend Vajrock?
I forgot Vajrock existed.
How could you forget the name Vajrock?
Vajrock is a wiki that is designed to provide me with a large number of images to use as reference when drawing.